We left at the same time. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It is in live in YouTube. You may start, please.
Yes. So till now, you have studied different kind of different dimensions of this universal human values, right? You have studied about your happiness and prosperity, and then you have also studied about understanding that what a human being means, right? The coexistence of the sentiment I, you have studied about that also. Okay. And you have covered the part that is uh, a harmony in the family, harmony in the society, right? And you have also studied about harmony in the nature. Okay. So in last class, where Dr. Dubey sir, he told you people that there are different kind of implications for holistic understanding of harmony. Okay. And it is related to professional ethics. Okay. So whenever a person gets into act, what is ethics? What have you understood from last class? That when a person, a thing which is ethical is not always legal. Okay. So your perspective, your culture, your personality, your thinking values plays a major role in your thinking pattern, that what is ethical and what is not. So remember one thing, whatever is good for the society or for the planet or your family, okay, anyone. So all those things, all those practices are ethical practices. Okay. So today, as in last class also, you have studied about holistic management, right? Holistic management, what does that mean? Holistic management is simply an ability and criteria to develop holistic systems. Okay. And holistic systems comes through understanding of harmony of at various level, along with the appreciation of comprehensive human goal, right? Now, when I say this holistic approach, what does it include? It includes your legal framework. Okay. First and foremost criteria is legal framework. Then comes the three new parameters, that is social, that is related to your society, then environmental, that is completely related to your environment, and third is economic. What is economic? Economic is simply about monetary things, right? And those monetary things impact your local authorities and government departments. Okay. And then it impacts your lifestyle of the employees of a company will be impacted when we talk about economic terms, right? Along with that, the survey site, the equipments, the environments, the methods, the transport which you are using, all that makes a holistic approach. Okay. Now, when we come to the point that how to develop this holistic system in an organization or in a professional way, system, the first and foremost thing is renewability. Now, when we talk about renewing something, what is renewing? Anyone? Class? Okay. Renew is simply reestablishing a new or usually improved basis, or make new or like new, right? So basically, renew means regenerate, okay, or cause to appear in a new form. So we have studied about renewable resources, non-renewable resources. What are that? Okay, renewable means it can be produced again and again, right? They are renewable sources, just like your solar energy, right? That comes daily, on a daily basis. But there are again few other sources which are not renewable. That is like your coal, uranium, uh, again your polluted water, like clear water, drinking water. All that is not renewable. That can be renewed only if a company involves in a technology, or a company creates a technology to uh, filter all the waste materials, right? Okay. In what are these cases there? Okay. Now, the second criteria to develop the holistic system is preservation of natural balance. Now, what is preservation of natural balance? Nothing else. It simply means that you have to take care of the uh, sustainable development, whether a development is being sustainable or not. Like if you are using certain kind of resources, give back that to the planet. Okay, like if you are utilizing uh, water in your organization, okay, then you are supposed to invest somehow, or to give something to the society. You can do anything, like there are practices like green offices. Green offices is a very, very useful uh, thing. Like in green offices, most of the time you'll see that it is in India, that even the buildings, whatever, be the balconies, be the terrace, be the walls, all over there, greenery is there. That is, plants are there. Okay, so you are taking water, but you are giving back oxygen. So you are helping back in some aspect, right? So you are just trying to maintain the natural balance. That is, if you are taking something natural, then you have to give back something to the nature, so that nature can sustain, and our coming families, our coming generations can uh, stay alive, and can, just live like you do. Okay, or even better from you, like our forefathers used to live. Such fresh air, such fresh water, all those things has to be given. Okay, now the third aspect, or the third criteria to develop a holistic system, is utilizing local resources and expertise. Okay, now when we say local resources and expertise, as you know, we are studying about professional ethics. Okay, so basically we are studying about a case in an organization. You all will work in some organizations in future, right? All of you. Then suppose you are an entrepreneur, or suppose you are uh, just a manufacturer. What should you try to do? You should try to utilize the local resource and expertise. When we say local resource and expertise, that means you should give employment to the people who are living in that society so that they and their families can prosper. Okay. And you are also supposed to utilize the local resources which are available over there. Like in different parts of the country or in different parts of the world, you will see that there are different kinds of, you can, like, suppose if you go to Kerala, you will see there are many Ayurvedic plants, right? And similarly, if you go to some other part, you'll see that tea manufacturing is very high. Similarly, coconut. Why all those things are being done? Those things are being done because in that climate, in the climate of Assam or in the climate of Srinagar or in climate of Kerala, there's huge variance. I hope you will agree to that. So if you see the climatic conditions, the best thing in a climatic condition of Kashmir is not to grow coconuts, not at all to grow coconuts, but to grow apples, right? So now an organization, if it is in some part of the country, okay, then like suppose, yes, we have in our West Bengal, we have jute mills. Why are those things there? Because here, what is there that various jute mills are over here? What is the reason? Please tell me. I know you all are from Kolkata or West Bengal, I suppose.
Hello, ma'am.
Huh.
Ma'am, it may be like Kolkata is situated in the bank of river Ganga.
Yes. Anyone else want to give it a try? So yes, basically shipping from here is very easy, right? Because it's at the seashore, right? So that's why it's there. Then we have the next criteria, that is decentralized and conducive to meaningful mass employment. Now, what does this mean? Decentralized. Okay, the first thing is decentralized. Okay, now let me tell you that in an organization, the authority to take decisions is either at, either limited to few people, okay, and other people are not able to use them, or either it is like different kind of decision making authority or decision making powers is at different levels, okay, in the organization itself. Now, if the decision making authority is only to suppose chief executive officer or board of directors, only they can take decisions, then what will happen? You will make changes, the organization will make changes, any change they will come up with, and they will ask, like suppose they'll ask that on Sundays also you have to work, or you have to work for 12 hours continuously, okay. And if the employees don't think that that is correct, or they don't want that, then what will happen? Obviously the employees will be very upset and there will be high attrition rate. When we say attrition rate, that means that the rate at which people leave the organization. And why will people leave? because obviously they are not comfortable with that. Okay. Hence, a different technique is there which can be used in organization, and that is called decentralized technique. In decentralized, what is there? The authority to take decisions regarding organization is existence at different levels. Okay, like it is with board of directors. Then the HR manager can take decision about the timings or whether to work on holidays or not. So this obviously helps the whole system, because the human resource managers will always go and talk to the people, to the employees, whether they are comfortable or not. Okay, so if people are comfortable, then that change will be brought. Okay, now this was about your centralization and decentralization. Okay, now this decentralization, that is the power to take decisions at different levels or with different kind of people who work in different departments, contribute to mass employment. That is, a lot of people try to work over there and they want to work over there. Okay. And why do they want to work over there? Because they think that the organization's policy is good over there and they are respecting the values, they are respecting the fundamental thing which is of society, family, and the planet. So, looking at all those things, they try to get employed in the organization. Now, the next criteria to develop holistic system is catering to real needs. Now, when we talk about real needs, is it only your monetary things, like only your salary? If you are working in an organization, is there anything like you are working there just for the salary and nothing else? Suppose your supervisor uh, scolds you a lot on daily basis, okay, but you are getting good salary. Would you feel comfortable to work over there? No, obviously not. Okay, so apart from salary, there are other things which an employee looks for. That is respect. Okay, respect is an important thing which a student, or sorry, which a employee looks
Okay.
for. Even a student looks for respect. I cannot scold you all without any reason, right? Or on daily basis. And why will I do that? Okay. So,
তা তো আমি জানি বলতে পারবো না, টোকেন
please
নাই সেটুকু বলতে।
mute your mic, Anuj.
ও
So, the organization should focus that they are catering to the real needs. Real needs means if they are in some part of the country, then they should focus that they are supporting the people living over there. By suppose you have your organization in Kolkata, okay, and there are very small villages next to this city, right, or on outskirts of the city. Okay, now in those cities you get to know that in those villages, the young kids doesn't have any facility of education. If there is that, then you are supposed to get into your corporate social responsibility function. When we say corporate social responsibility, what does that mean? Corporate social responsibility is simply a concept which is existing there for the organizations, okay? And each and every organization is supposed to invest some amount of their profit in social responsibility, okay? That is, they have to do something for the people over there, okay? And while doing these things, the organization should never forget that they have to cater their real needs. That so if someone needs education, educate them. If someone need healthcare services, provide them that. So you have to find out, or the organization has to find out the real problem which is existing over there, and they should cater to that. Or if there is that, or if there is something like, suppose in Delhi, you all must be aware about the smog which is there in Delhi in winters. Okay. So if your company is functioning in Delhi, you can cater to the real need. Now, what is the real need in Delhi? In Delhi, the real need is to clean out all the pollutions. So, in Delhi, organization can invest for clearing the air over there. Like there's a lot of dust is there, a lot of smoke is there. Smog is what? Smoke plus fog. In winters, fog is there, and the company should come up with projects or come up with different technologies so that they can cater to that need which is existing right now in Delhi. They should come up with some technology to just remove all the smoke from the air over here and clean that polluted air, right? Now, the company should also focus that they are matching the production, distribution, and consumption. That is, this simply means that a company should produce suppose we are producing some goods like rice. Now, if a company is functioning in the market of rice, then they are supposed to clean the rice materials and package it, and then they are supposed to give it to the wholesalers. Sorry, they from the factory of the company, they'll go to the wholesalers. From wholesalers, it will go to the retailers from where you purchase, right? And you are supposed to manufacture the quantity which will be consumed by the consumers, not more than that. More than that is not required. Okay. So similarly, if you are producing biscuits, you have to produce the quantity which will be consumed and which you can distribute to the different shops through wholesalers and retailers, right? When something is being manufactured in an organization or in a factory, what happens? From the factory, it goes to the wholesalers, right? Wholesalers are the person who sell to these small shops, right? Now you have to give it to wholesalers. From wholesalers, it goes to the retailers. Retailers are what kind of organization? Those shops which are near to your house, all those are retailers. Okay. And they should produce the amount which they can produce and distribute easily, and which can be consumed. So no wastage shall be there. Okay. Now, as we were talking about preservation of natural balance, and a natural balance through how I gave you an example of Delhi that come up with some technology. Okay. So they in past years, sanitation was a major issue. Okay. So, and you know that sanitation is very important, right? Because sanitation is a determinant of health, and it does include your food, personal, domestic, environmental hygiene, and access to adequate and safe water, right? So, a new kind of sanitation came up, which was given the name. There was this conventional system where you wash your hands, right? Like if you go to a washroom, if you go for urination, if you go for uh, excreta discharge, then you go, and then you have that system, that flushing system, or you go in villages, it is there that you have to go to the farms, and then you will do like all your excreta will go over there, and you'll just dump it in soil or something like that. Okay, so this is the conventional system. Okay, now we'll talk about the conventional system and the ecological sanitation which is being done right now. Okay, we'll again before that, I would like to just introduce with sanitation and what it is. Okay, so sanitation basically it includes the home sanitation, safe disposal of liquid, solid waste, as well as human excreta. Okay, and we all know that sanitation is very essential requirement, because we are supposed to recover useful products from something, right? Like in China, you can see what are they doing right now. They are even trying to build roads from plastic. Okay, so something innovative should be done so that all the waste which is coming out from different from our individual or society or an organization or a family has to be recovered, has to be recycled, right? So as you know that conventional sanitation system which we have, it ensures your safe health, environment, as well as overall well-being of the society is there. Okay, and obviously if no sanitation is there, it will lead to waterborne diseases, right? But in the conventional sanitation approach, fecal matter and urine are not dealt as waste, right? It is dealt just as a waste, it is dealt just as a waste and not as a resource. And thus it fails to recover useful products in it. Okay. So since conventional sanitation system fails to fulfill the fundamental principle of sustainable development, which we follow, sustainable development means where all can live. all the generations can live happily without any problem. Okay. So to attain that sustainable development in conventional sanitation systems, there is an urgent need to explore alternative sanitation systems which are capable of fulfilling this basic important objective, which is considering urine and fecal matter as a resource. Okay? Now, how can it be done? You'll have to think. Any idea? Anyone ever read about it? Okay, no, I understood. So, as you know, that conventional sanitation wisdom tells us to treat the wastewater we produce, right? But after treating what happened? It was polluted only. Okay, and it became the order of the day for the modern
मेरे
and
टीचर ये यूएचबी की क्लास है ना, तो यूएचबी की क्लास सारे कॉलेज के टीचर ही लेते हैं, कभी कोई
mute your mic.
Right.
Huh. So treating water after it has been polluted has become the order of the day. Nowadays, nothing else can happen, but we have to treat that water. We have to use that urine. We have to use that excreta in some way, right? So in city-state Singapore, what happened? That wastewater from sewer pipelines was subjected to various treatment processes. Okay, including your reverse osmosis, which you have studied in your science in school only. Okay, so that purified water can be attained from that, or water which is cleaner, relatively cleaner. Okay. So this sounds logical for income rich, but resource poor country like Singapore or Israel, they noted to recycle more than 90% of its wastewater. Okay. Now, unfortunately, not all cities are created equal. Most cities, especially those in the developing and emerging countries, can hardly afford to install these highly priced sewerage systems, right? Till now, we Indians only in our whole society, in our country, will see that what did government do in last few years? Suppose 5 or 10 years, they were building toilets in people's home where the rural people or the underprivileged ones, we would say, who doesn't have a toilet in their house, they are building toilets for them. So even we are lagging, right? We are facing problems. Okay, so in our country also, you can see that highly priced sewage, and in such a condition, highly priced sewage system in each house is not possible right now. Okay, and with ill-planned or unplanned build-up urban areas, in urban areas we have like cities which are not organized, right? These low to middle income cities have untreated or semi-treated wastewater that pollute the whole river system, isn't it? If in Metro Manila, for example, rivers and estuaries are considered biologically dead due to inadequate wastewater treatment system. And in Philippines, less than 15% of the households is served by the sewerage system, and around 80% relies on septic tank system, which is the default treatment approach. And the rest have no treatment at all. Okay. Ecosanitization. Okay. Now we'll talk about ecosanitization. Ecosanitization, on the other hand, starts with preventing the generation of wastewater to begin with. In its basic design itself, human excreta is not flushed down with water, and no other water is needed. So it is often called as the waterless toilet system. This is beneficial in many ways, right? It first communities using eco-sanitization, dry sanitation do not produce wastewater and therefore has no pollution. No pollution going in rivers. Both surface water and underground aquifers don't have to face these things, right? See, they also do not need capital intensive sewerage system, and therefore money can be diverted into other basic necessities of the constituents. Moreover, with dry sanitation, waterless communities can have a sanitary toilet option that is far better than a pit latrine. This solves the long-standing issue of government providing poor flush toilets to poor households without toilets. Hello? Yeah. So, now, coming to how this urine and feces are sanitized. If sanitation is primarily for health protection, right, then eco-sanitization must ensure that human excreta is sanitized. Even human excreta needs to be sanitized for safe handling and reuse. We have to reuse it. In contrast with conventional wastewater treatment system, eco-sanitization can render excreta safe at minimal cost and low technology methods. Okay, so now let's just talk about how and what are the components of excreta or urine. Okay, so basically human excreta is composite of two fractions that you know. First is the urine. Urine is a relatively cleaner fraction. Okay, and the second one is feces, which is the dirty fraction. Okay. In the conventional water reliant system, urine and feces are combined and flushed down together, right? This system renders urine considered to be sterile and ready to use liquid fertilizer rich in nitrogen, severely contaminated and useless. That means it has properties which can be used as a fertilizer, but it is contaminated, right? And that's why it is not being used. But in eco-sanitization, the urine and feces are diverted from one another and are processed and handled separately. Okay? Now, this diversion is done through a urine driving toilet bowl. Okay, there's one urine driving toilet bowl that is there installed. Okay, the urine over there is stored in that bowl for 1 month. Okay, and there's another bowl for your feces, and feces is stored for 6 to 12 months, and they are kept dry also. Okay, and this is done according to the WHO guidelines, World Health Organization guidelines on excreta management. According to some experts, privately produced urine by households with members who are relatively healthy can be used as a fertilizer immediately to irrigate their crops. Okay, so it can be utilized to irrigate the crops. Okay, because urine by natural process, what it has it has antibacterial properties, which is useful for in our agriculture practices also. And in this guideline of 1 month storage, like we store the urine for 1 month, right? So the 1 month storage guideline of WHO is designed for multi-source collection, meaning urine collected comes from various generators, and the pathogenic quality of urine is not assured because it is coming from different places, right? From different houses or different offices, and they're collected at a place. Now, what happens? Some of you might be healthy, but some of them might not be healthy, right? So, in this case, what happens? The quality of the urine is not assured. But if you know, like if it's just a family, and if this urine bowl and all of them are healthy, then it can be directly used for irrigation. Okay. But in general, like if we just have those pipelines from all the toilets, like from all houses and all offices, then quality of urine is not assured because someone might not be healthy, right? So what is done? That they are kept and processed for 1 month. Okay. Now, on the other hand, when we come to human faces, which is the dirty fraction, it is the most dangerous water pollutant. And you have seen, like we all have seen, that it goes from sewage line, goes to rivers. Okay. Its existence is dominantly existent in our country. Okay. So it is a dangerous water pollutant. Okay. To prevent this, what can be done? A technology is available where faces can be collected also. Okay. Now, as faces is host to many pathogens than urine and must be handled with care and treated properly, it needs more care. Okay. Because faces can contain as many varieties of diseases causing pathogens. Okay. And a small amount of faces can contain as much as 10 million virus cell. Okay. And it also contains bacterial cells and parasite eggs and cyst of intestinal worms. So all those are not good, right? So intestinal pathogens thrive in moist and acidic environment. Those pathogens will thrive in moist and acidic environment. That is, if you are dumping into the water, that is moist. Those pathogens will be there in that body. To kill these pathogens, the faces should be kept dry. Okay. And if possible, raise its pH to alkaline level. Okay. Applying commonly available absorbent materials such as wood ash, lime, and sawdust, every defecation can promote dehydration and increase the pH. Okay. Designing the toilet to have adequate ventilation and the elevated temperature from heat exposure to sun in the collection chamber, and that can be done through solar panels. Okay. Now, if all the faces comes in the collection chamber and you're giving the heat exposure through solar panel, then it can assist dehydration and odor control. No odor. Okay. Now, if the right condition is given, pathogen die off. Okay. It dies off within the first month of storage. And in about 2 to 3 months, what happens? Even bacteria and viruses are neutralized, right? The more persistent pathogens are the parasitic eggs which are there. It takes 6 to 12 months for them to die in hot, dry, and alkaline conditions. Okay? Now, that's why the WHO has said to keep it for 6 months to 12 and then use it as a fertilizer. Okay. Now, it has been used in different parts of the world. Experiences are there from Asia, Africa, Latin America, which shows that with proper management and utilization technique, human urine as well as feces are effective fertilizers to several crops like your banana, tomato, corn, papaya, eggplants, trig beans, apple, ornamental plants, and many, many, many more. Okay. So in Philippines, right now there are more than 3,000 ecosanitization toilets, which have been built in several barangays of San Fernando City and Buongla in La Union. Okay, so it is existent in country. Research was done. The technology was made. They came up with the technology through which it can be used and it doesn't pollute the water body. Okay. Eco-sanitization toilets over there were also installed in public elementary schools and and the other offices where they can do. Okay. Now, there are certain guidelines for the safe use of human excreta. That is, apply excreta fertilizer on soil only and practice caution when using flood and furrow irrigation and spray and sprinkler systems. Okay, because you have to keep it dry, right? Then there are crop restrictions also. That is, it has to be used in non-food crops, food crops that are processed or cooked before consumption. Okay, so you have to be keep it, like you have to use it in such crops which are cooked before consumption. Like, don't do it on guava, okay? Because you eat directly, you don't cook it. Okay. Now, withholding period, that is, provide adequate interval between final irrigation and consumption. Interval should be there, at least minimum 1 year. Okay. Then the water from which you wash hands, that is also rigorous and personal and domestic hygiene, right? We go and just hand wash, right? And in this COVID times, it's very higher. We use soaps, right? So in such conditions, we have to see that use of separate areas for food preparation is there and vigorous hand washing after toilet use and fertilizer application is there. That is, you have to wash your hands. Health and hygiene promotion can be done through proper education, like the organization or even you as students, you all will become employees. You are aware about this now. So you as an individual are supposed to teach others that how hygiene should be maintained and what kind of technologies are there which can be used. Okay. So this was about ecological sanitation. This was a case which I was telling you about. Now, in management also, there are some cases. Okay. When I say management, that means that there are some organizations which came up with very good business models. Okay. Now I'll tell you, you all must have heard about Lijjat Papad, isn't it? Lijjat Papad, have you heard about it?
Yes.
Lijjat Papad,
Yes, ma'am.
yes? Okay. Lijjat Papad is very, very famous. And why? Anyone? Lijjat Papad is famous for the way it functions. Right? See, who started making these Lijjat Papad? They were basically 6 to 7 women. Okay. And they wanted to, or they started producing these papads. Okay. Now, what is so special about this? These 6 to 7 women, they started making papads first and selling them. Then, looking at them, different people of that area went to them and offered that, okay, I can also help. And they also gain money out of that. So basically what happened was that the local area over there, all of them started going there so that they can earn some money. Okay. Now, what was happening in this whole scenario? First of all, local people were getting employment, right? Second, they also focus on the thing that they are able to do something for the society. First thing which they did was give employment opportunities to the local people. And secondly, another thing was also there that they take proper care of the waste materials which they produce. Okay. So they take proper care of that. They see that the waste is going to the right place and is recycled. Okay. So that is how Lijjat Papad functions. Similarly, there are other organizations also. I'll give you an example. How many of you know about Amul?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, we all know about
Yes,
this.
ma'am. We all know about the moon.
Okay. So, do you know how Amul started?
Ma'am, a little bit.
Yeah, tell us, please.
Ma'am, it is a cooperative means process done by a man who takes the dairy products from the farmers, local organizations, and sell them in a high rate at the market, commercializing the products from the like acting as a channel.
Okay, acting as a channel, right? That is the thing. Acting as a channel is a thing over here. Okay. Amul brought. You must have heard of this term, white revolution. What was white revolution about? White
Well, about milk.
মা একদিন নিজে সই করতে হচ্ছে আইটা যায় না জানো এই সাথী আছো এই সাথী না
Please mute yourself.
Mute yourself. Who is talking? Who is speaking?
এইরকম করে
What?
Yeah. Mute.
आएगा देखी बिल्ली जाएगा तो बिल्ली बोल ना तमाशा देता है
Monisha Khan. Who is Monisha Khan?
Yeah. So when we talk about Amul brought white revolution. That is, they brought different people from that part of the country. It started basically in Gujarat, right? And the people over there, all of them used to keep cows and buffaloes at a place, and they were not even able to sell it. The reason being, all of them had cows and buffaloes in their homes. They didn't need to purchase. So Amul brought this white revolution, that is channeling the whole milk from that place, because that is not utilized in that area now, right? It is not being utilized. Everyone has it. So Amul gave the people an opportunity to give their milk production, their extra milk produced at their houses. They used to go, right now even they do, they go and submit in, there's a proper system made for that. Like there are places where they can submit, okay, or they can just pour that milk in. And after doing that, the Amul is taking care of all processing system and distribution of those Amul milk or Amul paneer or whatever you call milk based things. Okay, so the all all this is done, and in this what is happening, the people of Gujarat are getting profited. So the organization is basically based over there, and it is very, very beneficial for Gujarat's population. All of them are using it with very, like they are very happy with that. Okay. Now I'll tell you about another case. It is also a case, and it is of Aravind Eye Care. Now this Aravind Eye Care, it is basically in Madurai city right now. Madurai is in South Indian, that is Tamil Nadu. Okay. Aravind Eye Care System is basically an eye clinic, nothing else. Okay. And it started with 11-bed hospital in 1976. Okay. And what was its idea? The idea behind forming that company was to create a sustainable eye care system. That is, they provide free service to the poor people. Okay? Till now they do, and they are prospering. They have opened different franchises now. Okay. So to address the firm's mission, a low-cost facility was made initially. That is, just 100 beds were added. Okay. For those people who want free treatment. So at that time, 100 beds were added. Now there are many more. Okay. So this marked the beginning of the firm's contribution to restore eyesight to the millions of people who are suffering from poor vision. Okay. Now this Aravind Eye Care System, what they do is that they charge money to the people who can afford to spend on that. They charge money from them. Okay. But their charge is not overpriced. They don't overprice. And from that money, they provide quality eye care systems to the poor people also. Okay. So the core principle of the Aravind eye care system is to provide service to the rich and poor alike. The only thing is financially supporting. Who is financially supporting? Because the doctors are very good over there. That's why even rich people want to go over there. They go. So by this, they are able to provide a free eye care to the patients who doesn't have money. Okay, and the Aravind eye care systems culture is that the service personnel are very disciplined, they're accountable, you can trust them, and they are responsible to the patients. It is in the that organization's value system is very strong. Okay, and even Aravind eye care keeps employees who are not well educated for different kind of basic jobs. Okay, and they provide them good amount of salaries. Okay, so they can so that they can prosper. Okay, over the years the respect and care shown to the patients, irrespective of what is their paying capability, has built Arvind's eye care system's image and its community trust a lot. So this has acted as a system to brand themselves also. Their branding is done on the word of mouth basis, nothing else. You go to South India, southern part of country, you just name Aravind Eye Care and everyone knows that. It's so reputed. This Aravind approach sought to restore eyesight to the millions of people with poor vision and eliminate the needless blindness and correct moderate visual impairment by providing high quality, high volume, and compassionate eye care to all. Okay, so basically, there are different level of pricing packages over there, and there are this subsidized price also, that is free hospital. Okay, so now the business model of Aravind is like they have different kind of customer segments, right? Customer relationship over there is very, very strong. Okay, they provide insurance to the employees also, as well as the customers. They suggest them. Okay, there are different kind of channels also. First of all, there is the base hospital that is on the land. Then they have different clinics at different places, and they run on mobile vans also. That is, that van goes to a rural area because people from rural area cannot afford to come to the city for their eye care. So the mobile van goes to the rural area, and there the doctors of Aravind Eye Care provide them eye care services. Okay. The key activities which are conducted at Aravind Eye Care is obviously research and development, and the second one is through that research and development, they provide efficient eye surgery. Okay. The key resources for them are obviously the hospital and equipments and the doctors and the support staff which are present over there. Then the key partners, as they are an NGOs, Rotaries, religious organization, all these partners have become the partners of Aravind Eye Care now. They invest money in that. Okay. So these were about few management cases. There are many more. If I start explaining them, it will the time will just vanish. So keeping it short, I'll just move on to the next topic, which is your strategy for transition from the present state to the universal human order. Now, what is this? Universal human order. Anyone aware about it? No. Okay, you are hearing this for the first time. Okay, very good. Anyways, you'll get to know about it. So, universal human order simply says that you have to be in an order, right? Now, you all know that there are different ladders in society or as an individual on which organization serves, right? Or even your this thing. Just a second. Something's happening. Yeah. So this universal human order, which is a very, very important concept. Okay. And it simply means that see, you have different human aspirations, right? All of us have different aspirations, right? But if we look closer, we can see that every human being aspires to live a way of life, different way of life, which ensures their happiness for all human beings. Okay. Live in where they are living in harmony with nature. Okay. Right. So this is the aspiration of basic human aspiration which should be there. Since you are following the values, you have to consider that nature is the one thing where you can grow, you can prosper. Okay, so without harming nature, you have to do everything because you also are an individual. You also want to live in a fresh air, or you want all the resources which Mother Nature has given us, right? You also want your family to live like that. Your sons, your son, daughters, future son, daughters, or your grandchildren. You want them also to live happily, and similarly, you'll want your generations to live happily. So, to do this, what should you do at an individual level? Simply maintaining happiness in harmony and integration among all four dimensions within the self, which is your thought, your behavior, your work, and your realization. Okay, so your thought, it should be according to a sustainable development one. Your behavior, it should be focusing on sustainable development. Your work should be focusing on sustainable development. And the realization should be, you should realize that the essence of this planet is nothing else but being in harmony with your society, your colleagues, your family, your friends, your whole planet. Okay? Now, at the level of society, what does individuals aspire? They simply ensure that harmony and integration among four levels are there. That is the individual, that is you, your family, the society, and the nature, right? This is your simple desire. This should be your simple desire, right? And this is the innate need of every human being, regardless of what is his age, gender, caste, creed, nation, belief. These things doesn't matter. Okay? To gain clarity on this, let us just ask ourselves some questions about each aspiration. That suppose, ask yourself a question: how I want to live. Okay. When you ask ourselves, do I want fulfillment at 4 dimensions and all 4 levels? The 4 dimensions which I said, the thought, the behavior, the work, the realization, and the other 4 dimensions, that is your individual, family, society, nature. Do you want this fulfillment at all the 4 levels? You want an solution. You think that this, and there should be all encompassing solution, that is, which can make everyone happy. The future generations, the past generations, everyone, it can make everyone happy. Your behavior will also, once you think like that, your behavior will be acting towards that, right? You will always focus on justice for all. You will focus on mutual happiness, right? So, if you want fulfillment at all the dimensions, you will work towards it. Considering your 3rd dimensions, like as an individual there are 4 dimensions, and as a society there are 4 dimensions. Okay, so individual dimensions are thought, behavior, work, and realization, which I just said. Okay, and society dimensions are every individual, every family, society, nature, right? So till now we have discussed till behavior of individual 4 dimensions, right? The 3rd dimension is work, which includes physical laws. You should adhere to the laws so that mutual prosperity is there. No pulling behind, like no crab mentality should be there. First of all, you adhere completely to the laws which are there. And then you have to think also that what is ethical and what is not ethical. So, like, suppose if you are working in an organization and there's this crab mentality, have you ever heard about it? Crab mentality is basically, I won't grow, I won't let anyone other grow. If you see crabs, no, they try to just jump the ladder. Okay. But the other crab, what he does, he will pull the other crab down. So you should never do that. In fact, you should encourage others so that you will also be encouraged, and it will lead to mutual prosperity. Okay? Then is there your realization. In realization, you should get to realize that what is the current scenario. Okay? What is how is everything around me right now? Okay? And you will try to correct it through your behavior, through your work, and similarly, all of you will do, and continuity of happiness will be attained. Okay? What will this lead to? This will lead to accumulation of wealth. Wealth over here doesn't just mean in monetary terms, but in monetary terms, that is your satisfaction, your need fulfillment, desires. All those will be fulfilled if you just stick to right thought, right behavior, right work, and right realization. Now, as a society, there are 4 levels. That is individual. All encompassing solutions should be there. So, right understanding should be there in every individual. In every family, what should be there? Prosperity. In every society, what should be there? Trust should be there. And in nature, coexistence should be there. In individual, if each individual follows this, then there is again unlimited accumulation of wealth. Okay. Now, what is the state today? What are we doing now? Are we ensuring the fulfillment of all these 4 dimensions of personal existence? Or we are just focusing on work to ensure accumulation of physical facilities or your wealth, your money, that too without deciding how much of it is required. Okay. So this accumulation of wealth or of physical facilities is being done without ensuring mutual fulfillment, right? You're not thinking about others, which results in resource depletion and pollution. So we should focus on ensuring the fulfillment of all these 4 levels of human existence, or we are just focusing on individual to ensure accumulation of unlimited physical facilities for him. So that should not be there. Don't just focus on yourself or your family. Just don't limit yourself to that. Okay? Now, at the level of individual, we can see that human beings on the one hand suffer from unhappiness, dissatisfaction, sense of purposeless, of fertility, tension, frustration, depression, even suicide is there, right? After doing all this, after today's scenario, this is happening. Why? Because we are just focusing on ourselves. Okay? So, the body health is steadily declining in these conditions. There are good medical facilities, but still it's declining. New diseases are coming every day. A majority of people find themselves engulfed in problems of one type or the other. I think everyone is facing something, some kinds of this. Your tension will be there, frustration will be there, or depression will be there, or you will face domination. Someone is dominating you. You will feel like that, or you'll see around you that there is violence, there's crime, there's terrorism, isn't it? So we as an individual find ourselves engulfed in problems. So why not just break this barrier and keep focusing on not just ourselves, but the family and the society and the nature. At the level of family, one finds that in family among the members, there is complaints, fights, interpersonal tensions, right? In every family that is being there. So numerous attempts are made to solve this. There are laws to solve this. But then also, feeling of being deprived is always there. Okay? And what we do is we don't decide that how much is going to be sufficient in terms of physical facilities. That's why this happens. And coming to the society level, we see problems which are very prominent, like poverty, unemployment, and division, discrimination, exploitation, opposition, struggle, war. These are talks of cooperation with each other, right? We do talk about like that, yes, we cooperate with each other, but are we really doing? Are we really doing something for them? For the poor people, for the unemployed one, for the one who are being discriminated? Why to exploit someone? Why to get into war? Why a country is getting into war? So what is happening? Everyone is getting exploited at some end. Today, United States is said that it's a very powerful country, but it has threat from Russia. It has threat from many other countries, right? That's why World War is happening. Coming to the level of nature, the problems manifest in the form of ecological disturbances. They are lack of natural resources, air, water, soil, food, all are becoming poisonous and poisonous. Even the food which we are eating, which are coming in our plate, the vegetables, the fish which you are having, all those are like chemicals are used in that. And even if you see, the fertility of the soil is reducing. And problem of water shortage is there. The nutritional value of food is completely, it has devastated in this conditions. So we have to see that ecological balance is maintained, and that no one else but we as an individual can do. If all of us say that, yes, we will take care, we will follow the ethical practices, we will follow the law, then all these problems will be solved. Okay. On the one hand, we can see that there are many breakthroughs and wonders are being made by modernity, science, and technology. But while on the other hand, what is being? Man is still remain as unknown and unrelated to himself. You don't know that who are you, right? So today, human being has become the biggest source for problem of human being himself. Right? That's why there's a possibility of war. That's why we are just producing weapons. If you see a country's budget, a huge amount of money is going in nothing else but in your defense system, so that you can sustain in case of war. You can win in case of war. Every country is doing that. So we are wasting money because we want to dominate someone else. So basically, as an individual itself, if we decide that we won't get into any such practice, then you will always win. And your whole society and your whole nature will win. Right? So here you can clearly see that what is the problem. We all are aware of this stage, right? We know that wars are happening. But do actually we want this? No. We doesn't want that. We want simply to live in harmony, right? And happily ever after. That's what we say, right? After every story that, and they lived happily ever after. But in your case, or in our case, is it happily ever after? No, it's not. So if we continue our effort in the same direction, which is there in the current state, then it will not fulfill our human aspirations. Okay? And if you look at these conditions a little deeply, it seems that man has not even been able to rightly recognize its needs so far. Today's prevailing materialism has made us to believe that unlimited science, technology, education, nations, states are being applied to ensure this. Okay. As a result, every human being is engaged in this. Material acquisition has become the aim for a man's thought, behavior, work, and realization without even bothering to find out how much material facility is required for an individual, family, and society. We are just spending lavishly behind unnecessary things. While an individual just wants to live, and he wants to fulfill his primary needs, so that he can get that perennial happiness, and he wants no conflict, okay, no wars, no conflict, nothing. We don't want that. As an individual, you also don't want that. You want to live with knowledge. Yes, you will gain knowledge. You want to gain knowledge that is being provided. Okay. The reality is that to live with knowledge is an innate and basic need of human, right? That is why you are being provided with knowledge. Because only knowledge enables a person to live in harmony within him and in harmony with the larger organizations also. Otherwise, he will always live in a poorly based, whatever you assume, like purely based on what he has ended up assuming. If you don't think rightly, then you won't find the solution, right? So, in the absence of knowledge, if you don't have knowledge, then you won't get a samadhan. What is a samadhan? A solution. Samadhan is an Hindi word. It simply means solution. Okay? So, knowledge should be provided to each and every individual, regardless of their financial status or gender, caste, creed, etc. Okay? So, on studying nature, we find that it consists of 4 orders, that is material order, pranic order, animal order, and human order. Okay? Material order consists of soil, air, and metals. Pranic order consists of your plants and trees. Animal order consists of your animals and birds. Human order consists of your human beings. So you can see that there is relatedness and interdependence amongst all these 4 orders, that is your material, pranic, animal, human, right? We are dependent on each other. So the relationship over here is basically for a mutual fulfillment and mutual enrichment right? Like, for example, you can see that trees, animals, and soil all get enriched once enrichment is not at the cost of anyone, right? All get enriched. Trees are getting water, animals are getting food, soil, it is being fertilized. I just gave you the example of how. Okay. So these 3 orders are fulfilling for human beings also. Okay. So human beings have natural acceptance for being fulfilling for other humans, as well as the 3 orders they are not able to fulfill. Okay. Now, you just ask yourself, which fear is predominant in you? Which you have fear of something. Everyone has fears, right? You might have fear of wild animals like lion, snake, anything. Then you have fear of natural calamities, natural disasters, earthquake, cyclone, any such thing. You have fear of that, right? And fear of the inhuman conduct of human beings are also there. So basically what is happening? You are living in fear. Why? You are afraid of wild animals. You are afraid of disasters, natural disasters. You are afraid of other humans also. Why? Because currently we were not focusing on an individual basis. Okay, we were just focusing on individual basis, and we are not focusing on the society, family, and the planet. Okay, so this thinking pattern leads to the global terrorism or fear in society. Okay, like if you see your closest relatives also, we don't know that how our own child will react or our own father will react, right? So why is this happening? This is just happening because the humans till now have not focused on anything else but them. Okay, so your responsibility is not just to focus on yourself and your family and your society and your planet. So you have to keep all these dimensions in mind. Okay, so the vision for universal human order completely relies on your shoulders now. Okay, so that now keep your thought process clear, keep your behavior clear, keep your uh, thinking pattern, your acts, your ethical practices, all that in yourself. Just intrude all these things in your daily lives so that you can get what you want. Okay, so if you want a fearless life, you have to behave in an order where all the human beings, your family, your society, your whole planet, animals, plants, they should not be afraid of you also. If you don't harm them, nothing will happen to you. Okay? So, to get out of this whole chaos or disorder which is existing currently, you have to clear your thinking process and you have to do something for them. Then, obviously, as karma, you'll get it back. Okay? Now, there are few programs which is emerging out for the vision of universal human order, which is People's Education Program, which is also known as Lok Shiksha Yojana. Okay, then there is Education Sanskar Program, that is your Shiksha Sanskar Yojana, and the next one is Undivided Family and Universal Human Order Program, that is Akhand Parivar, undivided, okay, or Sarvabhaum Vyavasthita Yojana. Okay, now this People's Education Program is meant for the people who could not avail the program for right understanding in childhood. Okay, and this is carried out through workshops, seminars, discussions, etc. Okay, now since you are aware of this, you have to make others aware. You have to volunteer in such workshops, seminars, discussions, so that others can also benefit from you. Okay? So, this process basically prepares the base in the form of teachers and responsible people who would be competent to facilitate the program for human education sanskar. So, you in future or you in coming few years will teach other. Okay, You will have to tell them about the sanskar. You'll have to tell them that they have to be committed, prepared, and they should practice the right kind of living and just leave this kind of living which is there right now. The preparation includes learning the skills and technology for right living. Okay? And if suppose if you get a kid and he's not learning the right sanskar, then what will happen? He will live like an animal and he will make others' life miserable. So to escape that, you have to volunteer and you have to follow the practices. You have to think to benefit the society, to benefit the uh, nature, to benefit the animals, to benefit your family, all of them. You are not supposed to leave any one of them. Okay? So with the rest of nature, live with mutual enrichment. Okay? So there are certain steps from transition, right? And those steps are basically through teaching only. So first of all, you have to introduce everyone with the understanding which you have got till now. Okay? And this right understanding and right feeling, you have to go and tell others also. Okay? Then you have to find the solution for it by value-based education. You have to give this education about values to not just yourself or not just newborn kids. You are supposed to go and volunteer in different schools, in different colleges, in different um, societies, okay, or even in your family level, okay, so that values are being understood, okay, and the lifestyle and institute cultural reflex should be there. So this is from my end, and that's it. And
Okay. Madam, actually, the participants are leaving most of the students, because
okay,
anyway,
okay,
so you have done a beautiful points that you have mentioned, So I think it will be helpful and beneficial to students, So I
yes, sir.
think the students, those who have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, it is time. I'm telling you, the Akanka madam has highlighted some points, mainly on value-based education, and what are the situation is going on in our society, in some industry, in some business sectors, actually, which is contradictory to our actually ethical part, ethics sections. It contradict. That's why we are suffering in various ways. And even then, we are already yesterday we have discussed that our Professor Dubey told that some factories and experiments, they are doing their better way. Yesterday we actually discussed about the Bengal Chemical and others. So, but the main thing, the main point is ethical concept, that has been given some examples and some evidences of such unethical attitude and approach that going on. It is existing still now. So for which we will have to practice and to follow the ethical part that has been explained by Anka madam very good, very nicely. So I think that should be end, And one thing I'm telling you, already Maji sir have sent. Maji sir already sent a attendance link, and next Sunday at 4, the feedback session will be started. And on that day, there will be an examination like previous examination will be held. So I request all the students to be present on Sunday, 4 p.m. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and especially Anka Madam, also Saksha sir, he is already with us. Saksha sir, hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You can end now.
Yes, sir.